I thought it was a great performance. You know, I thought I did what I wanted in the ring. I thought I picked it up when I wanted to. I thought I banged when I wanted to, boxed real well. I don't take nothing from it.
You have power, you carry what? Pacquiao, we forget about a guy like that. He used to be a jockey. And what did he do? He carried his power and he carried his speed, obviously, as the smaller man. Crawford carries his speed, he carries his power. And the most important thing is what's inside of Crawford. He's a special guy. He doesn't believe you can beat him. And it's hard to beat a guy who doesn't believe you can beat him.
I still would be running myself in the dirt because I always felt like if I put more days in work, then I got just as much days over.
Did Terence "Bud" Crawford, fresh off arguably the greatest victory of his career against Canelo Alvarez, secretly hint at a shocking retirement? Just moments after cementing his legacy as an all-time great, a series of messages and subtle clues began to surface. Crawford, at the absolute peak of his career, has left the boxing world stunned with hints of retirement. There's simply nothing left to prove. He just showed he's the undisputed king, dismantling a legend in a performance for the ages.
But that ninth round came, you got into your stance, you got low. I said, oh, he finna try to bang with him. And you had those exchanges. And did that just happen, or you knew when that bell rang, that ninth round, I'm finna try to see, I'm finna test him?
No, I just knew just to pick it up because, you know, it was getting close to the championship rounds. And I just wanted to make sure that, you know, I set a tone that I was in charge.
He made a big mistake at the end of that round, though.
Yeah.
He reached out and acknowledged that he shook his head and...
Yeah, we ain't doing that.
Yeah, that's a big mistake.
Yeah, we ain't doing that.
And he really made the first mistake at the weigh-in.
Yeah.
People don't understand. Like, that don't mean everything. That don't mean that Terence is gonna win the fight or whoever gonna win the fight. But when you break that steer, it wasn't just him breaking the steer first. He reached his hand out to you at the weigh-in. I said, ooh-wee. Then he did it again in the ninth round. When he did it in the ninth round, I say, yeah, this fight, it ain't over, but it's over. He got his respect, and that's really what he came here to get. You seen him do that, right?
Yeah. I walked away.
Yeah.
I walked off.
Yeah. What was you thinking when you seen that concession?
I'm like, man, we ain't touching no hands.
But did you think like, oh, I got him?
No, I didn't think nothing. I already knew I had him. I felt like I was winning all the rounds except, you know what I mean, one. I felt like he could have got the, you know what I mean, what was it, the fifth round? You know what I mean? But all the other rounds, I'm like, I'm in control.
Crawford seems ready to make the ultimate power move, walking away from the sport as its undefeated king. Was his historic win the perfect mic drop moment, or is there another chapter waiting to be written in one of boxing's most legendary careers? The night of September 13th, 2025 was supposed to be about one thing: cementing a legacy. The risk was immense. A loss, especially a brutal one, could tarnish an otherwise perfect record. But Crawford didn't just win, he dominated. In a masterful display of skill, speed, and power, he outclassed the face of boxing, securing a victory that echoed through the annals of the sport.
It became a fight where Crawford made it where Canelo, to have any chance, he had to go get close. So he had to go through a bad neighborhood.
Yep.
And Crawford mugged him. It's that simple. He had to go through a bad neighborhood to get anything done, to get to the place that something was going to be done good.
Yeah.
And he got mugged going through that neighborhood.
Yeah.
It's that simple.
Well, if I think about it, if I do come back, can you train me?
We're not even,
Please. I'm asking you right
Are
now
you
if I
kidding me?
do.
Do they have commercials on this thing? You guys got commercials?
Fellow boxer Blair Cobbs would later state he believed Canelo was hurt quite a few times and could have got knocked out towards the end, a testament to the sheer dominance of the performance. With that win, he achieved something unprecedented, becoming the first male boxer in the modern four-belt era to unify titles in 3 different weight classes. He had climbed the highest mountain so definitive that it left no doubt about his greatness. Even before the first bell rang against Canelo, a seed of doubt about his future had been planted. During a May 27th interview with Sporting News Australia, a reporter asked if the super fight could be the final one of his career. Crawford, with a smile that said everything and nothing at all, gave a 5-word response that sent ripples through the boxing world. Who knows? We shall see.
I know you're not looking past this fight and you take things one step at a time, but is there a chance that this is your last fight?
Who knows? We shall see.
At the time, it was easy to dismiss as a fighter simply focusing on the task at hand. But in retrospect, it was the first clue that retirement wasn't a distant thought, but a very real possibility. He was already contemplating an exit strategy, and the Canelo fight was the ultimate crossroads. A win would be the crowning achievement, the perfect final chapter. But as the dust settled and the belts were secured, those whispers grew. Immediately after the fight, with the world watching on Netflix, Max Kellerman asked the question everyone was thinking. Had fans just witnessed the last fight of his career? Crawford, still catching his breath from the 12-round war, remained perfectly non-committal. Like I said before, I don't know, he responded. I got to sit down with my team, and we're going to talk about it. There was no definitive no promise of a return. The world of boxing, where fighters often map out their next 3 moves, this ambiguity was telling. He wasn't just deflecting. He was leaving the door wide open for an exit. For a man who had just proven he was the best in the world, the silence about what came next was deafening. It was a calculated pause that fueled speculation and made fans wonder if the greatest performance of his life was also his last.
What are we boxing for at this point? What else is there to do? There's always going to be a YouTuber or a reporter or somebody conjuring up another challenge. We box to get ourselves in a better financial position, to build a name and a legacy. Those boxes are checked. What else are we doing? Why are we still in the game? I get it.
Just a couple of weeks later, on September 30th, Crawford sat down with the great Andre Ward on the All the Smoke Fight podcast. When Ward pressed him on his future, Crawford revealed a crucial piece of the puzzle. I'm just chilling, man, he began. I haven't even got the time to sit down with my team, but I talked with my family, and I know what my family wants.
Right. Yeah. But then when you get to that point where you know, like, oh, I can take a rest day because, let my muscles, recover so I can get more out of it. In this fight, I ain't gonna get tired. I've been here before. I put the work in. That was always my fear, is being in a fight and getting tired to where I couldn't perform.
He never explicitly stated what their desire was, but the implication was heavy. Reading between the lines, it seemed clear that those closest to him, the ones who had witnessed the sacrifices and the grueling camps, might be ready for him to hang up the gloves. The life of a fighter is one of immense pressure and physical toll, not just on the athlete, but on their loved ones. For his family, seeing him reach the absolute pinnacle of the sport, financially secure and with his health intact, could very well be the perfect time to call it a day.
How does Terence Crawford know when it's time to hang it up?
When I want to. I'm going to retire from boxing before I let boxing retire me. I always said that I'm going to retire on my own terms, and I'm going to feel good because everything that I did it my way. Whether it took me however many years to get to the point where I'm at, I did it my way. A lot of people can't say that. A lot of people can criticize me and say, oh, well, he re-signed with Top Rank and he's this, he's that. But at the time, that was the best move for me in my career. You feel me?
Yeah.
As a modern champion who famously walked away undefeated, Ward framed the conversation from a place of deep understanding. He spoke about the rare privilege of being able to leave the sport with both an immaculate record and long-term health, a choice very few legends get to make. He didn't give advice, but his questions were layered with the weight of his own historic decision, prompting Crawford to reflect on what truly matters in the end.
Was it important to you to retire unbeaten?
Oh yeah, man, listen. I can be a sore winner and a sore loser. Like, I'm that competitive. Like, I don't like to lose at anything. If I had a loss on my record right now, I probably think about it daily. Probably something I have to work through daily. Like, man, if I'd have just, So I'm glad I got that.
Yeah.
Gotta rank him probably in your top 10, maybe even your top 5.
Where do you rank Terence, in your opinion?
I put him in the top 15, maybe the top 10. Because he definitely has the skill of a top 5. Just that he hasn't had the opposition that some guys were able to get. And that's not his fault. He just made one of the best fighters in his weight class look like nobody. That's pretty damn good. Now he proved what we already thought. We just didn't see him against the best opposition near his weight class. See, this is the thing people don't understand. This is what I like about Bud. Yeah. He reminds me of Roy. We ain't got to have the best opposition in our weight class. We want the best opposition near our weight class.
There's been discussion that maybe, Crawford and Inoue are going back and forth tussling for pound for pound, that maybe Inoue because of the multiple weight divisions. You're shaking your head no. Tell me why no.
Because Inoue also, when he first moved up, he lost to Donaire. Don't forget that. Bud ain't lost nobody. Moving up or down, he moved up 3 times. He lost nobody. Don't tell me he better than Bud, no.
While his family's wishes carried immense weight, the boxing world itself was fiercely divided. The case for retirement was strong and simple. Perfection, a flawless 42-0 record, and a legacy that needed no further polish. Legends like Roy Jones Jr. were among the first and loudest voices, publicly advising him to retire on top and not risk tarnishing an immaculate record.
What should both guys do next?
I mean, Canelo probably got to go back and decide what he wants to do. But if I were Bud, I would just retire. Terence is very special. He definitely goes in the top 10, maybe even the top 5 of the best pound for pound ever.
Do you think, is there anything more for him now, would you say?
Nothing else left for him. That was it. He can call it a day now if he wants to.
Even former opponents like Sean Porter, who knows Crawford's greatness firsthand, echoed the sentiment, suggesting he had nothing left to prove.
I get to know these fighters, and I get to understand who they are, where they come from, and what makes them who they are, both in and out of the ring. And that's why I respect a lot of the guys. I didn't say all of that, but I said, I did say that I respect it. Like I said, you would think that the way my fight ended with Terence, that I would have animosity towards him or that I would dislike him. I said, I know who he is. And so beyond what we did in the ring, I got nothing but respect for this man.
Legendary trainer and analyst Teddy Atlas warned of the classic tale of a fighter staying one fight too long, urging him to protect his perfect ending. Even Blair Cobbs, who ranks Crawford as the second greatest fighter of all time behind only Muhammad Ali, stated that Crawford should retire happily now. Having spoken to the legend numerous times, Cobbs' opinion adds a personal and deeply respectful voice to the calls for a perfect exit, celebrating a champion who took the hard road to get here.
Yes, Crawford, all I see is that the best thing for him to do now is to retire. No, I don't think that he'll fight again. I know Crawford. I've spoke to him numerous times. I've called him out numerous times. I even said, yo, man, you might as well just come with me, man. Train me then, motherfucker. You know what I mean? God damn. Like, come on. You know what I mean?
So you giving a call out to Bomac. You want to go to that team?
Well, I like for somebody like me, I would appreciate somebody like Crawford when it comes to his mentorship.
Yeah.
His mentorship. Because to tell you the truth, there's a lot of things that I'm going through in boxing that he's going through. Maybe not on the level of me.
Yeah.
But he's gone through a lot of that stuff. There's been a lot of doors that shut in his face, even though he was great, even though he proven himself many times over. There's many doors that shut in his face, and delays over top of delays for the Errol Spence fight. There was all kinds of things that happened with Crawford. Is reason why I respect him probably more than most people and most fighters. He didn't get the easy route.
The predictions were there too, with fellow champion Stephen Fulton stating before the fight, if Crawford wins, he'll probably retire. On the other side was the undeniable lure of money and more glory. A rematch with Canelo would generate another 9-figure payday, and new challenges loomed at middleweight. The debate raged, secure the perfect legacy or risk it all for even greater fortune.
Don't play with my boy. It's over with. It's over with. I told the whole world, pay me. Suckers. Retire, bud. Retire, bud. It's over. You ain't got nothing else to prove. Let's go fishing, bud. Let's go fishing, bud. Retire. Yeah. It's over with.
Adding to the debate were voices with unique perspectives. Crawford's friend and former foe, Timothy Bradley Jr., spoke from first-hand experience, suggesting that after a win of this magnitude, there was no reason to risk a perfect legacy and every reason to leave on his own terms.
I beat this guy, it's an excuse, I beat this guy, you know, he's too young or whatever. So I'm never really gonna give my full respect until afterwards. Yes, you know, it's a lot of people that's changing their narrative, like, man, y'all watching something great right now and we not appreciating it. And it's sad to say that we waking up at the tail end of his career. You know, we really didn't realize it until now when he's like doing extraordinary stuff, like going up 2 weight classes to fight the best fighter in that division, the #1 guy that's the face of boxing, you know. And the way that I handled that, people like, oh man, something had to be wrong. Canelo had to be washed, or Canelo just wasn't in it. And I see people saying, oh, Turkey paid for Canelo to lose, you know. So I just think, you know, when you that much better than the competition, you know, people not going to give you credit until they sit down and look at it and just be like, man, that dude was good.
Offering a starkly different view was the legendary Bernard Hopkins. Known for his incredible longevity and business acumen, Hopkins posed the counter-argument. With his fame at an all-time high, now was the time to capitalize on a few more massive paydays, warning that such lucrative opportunities don't last forever.
Bomac, you've been training Crawford for years. Is he retired or is he going to keep fighting?
He just got to take a break.
Is Terence Crawford retired or is he going to keep fighting?
Oh, he's going to keep fighting.
He's going to keep fighting?
Yeah.
You're the man. Be man. Hey, congratulations. Enjoy the win.
Thank you.
Thank you.
But for Crawford, the conversation about retirement goes far deeper than just his own career. For years, he has been one of the most vocal advocates for the welfare of boxers after they leave the sport. In past interviews, he has passionately spoken about the need for pensions, 401ks, a fighters union, and comprehensive health insurance to support athletes whose bodies have been broken by the sweet science. His potential retirement isn't just a personal choice, it's intertwined with his vision for a better future for all fighters. He understands the tragic trope of boxers who leave the sport with nothing, and his careful consideration of his own exit reflects his desire to set a different example. This bigger picture perspective adds another complex layer to his decision, proving it's not just about money or fame, but about principle.
For him to be this far along in all these years, I think that he's #1.
He's been non-committal about his future. Do you think we ever see him fight again?
I don't want to see him fight no more.
Oh, really?
In my opinion.
Really?
Nah, I don't. I think that it's just a lot. It's a lot. Like them training camps, that wear and tear on your body, and me being his brother, like I really got like endless love for this guy. I don't want to see it. I think he did everything that in the sport that he could do. I think there's nothing else that can be done. He made one of the best fighters of our generation look average. And I think that's a huge accomplishment, and I think it's time to retire on the high horse.
Do you think he retires?
Knowing Bud, it's hard to say. Bud is crazy. I mean, I already know like what he can do in the boxing ring is different, and training camps, the hard work that he put in that comes together on fight night. He can go and do different things, and he don't have to retire. But for me, I would want to see it.
So, what does this all mean for one of boxing's greatest warriors? The answer remains shrouded in mystery, a puzzle built from cryptic comments, family wishes, and a legacy that needs no further validation. The conflicting signals and immense pressure have created a moment of pure suspense. Only Crawford knows his true intentions. Whether he chooses to hang up the gloves as an undefeated, undisputed legend or embarks on one last, lucrative challenge, Terence "Bud" Crawford has already redefined what's possible in the squared circle. The question isn't if he's a legend, but how his legendary story will truly end.
If you were to not fight again, you'd be undefeated at 42-0. Would that satisfy you?
If that was the decision that I made, that my team made, for me to walk away, away from the sport, then of course I'll be, content and happy because that's the decision that I made. I'm not gonna make something, that I'm not comfortable with. I had a great career. I've done some tremendous things in the sport of boxing. I made a lot of history. What can I not be proud of if I walked away from the sport right now. You know, I don't have no regrets because everything that I did it my way. So if I was to walk away from the sport right now, I wouldn't have no reason to hold my head down.
So, that's all from today's video. If you enjoyed it, remember to leave a like, subscribe, and ring that bell icon so you never miss our upcoming videos. And don't forget to share your thoughts in the comments section. Stay tuned, and we will catch you in the next video.